But I just want to say a couple of things. This is someone who less than a year and a half ago came into an industry that you've never done before. And you stepped in here and $50,000, over 50,000 in your first real month. By August of that year, you had $184,000 month. So you guys show some love in the chat and give a virtual welcome to Mr. Dylan Crane. Are you out there, Mr. Dylan Crane? Good afternoon. Good afternoon. And so here's the thing, like it's Dylan Crane. I don't have to give a lot of accolades because everybody knows them. But I just want to say a couple of things. This is someone who less than a year and a half ago came into an industry that you've never done before. You had been in, construction, material sales, home improvement type sales, basketball as a coach, as a player, as an athlete. You were successful in other things. Like that's one thing. Success leaves clues, right? Like there are people who are out there that are successful at what they do, but still they're not satisfied with what they're getting. And you stepped in here and $50,000, over 50,000 in your first real month. By August of that year, you had $184,000 month.
Yeah.
And just as of right now, and I had these numbers, I had these pulled up here in Opt. 70 applications, you've written 258.
Yeah.
$1,000 worth of production. Let's do the math that we were just talking about with my dad. 258,000. Let's say you have a 70% placement rate. So you're not even getting let's say it's only 70% that's getting issued. That's $180,000 on an 80% contract. That's $144,000. Your advance is 75%. Imagine, right? Like you did what Dylan has done so far this month. That's $108,000 for the month on an 80% contracting commission, with only 70% of that business getting issued. Of those three questions, so I think people are thinking that you really were just going up and say, do you have life insurance? Do you have debt? Do you have money? Like, we're not saying it like that. Like, that should be so that you remember. Okay, like just making sure everybody's clear. Like, no, don't ask the question like that, but this is to help you remember. Three questions that you should be asking everybody in one way or another at some point in time. Now, here, Dylan, let me ask you this. When you're saying the characteristics of somebody who's going to win here is that they're bold enough to ask these questions, are we asking all three of these questions at the same time? Or is this?
No. If it's a brand new, again, like you're just reaching out to a friend you haven't talked to in 2 years, you're going to want to say, hey, can you help me out for a moment? Okay. For the people, like, I think it's all the same category because that opens up a conversation because that's an appointment. Okay. So like, I'm pretty busy here, just kind of getting this thing off the ground, but I might have some time tomorrow. What's a good time that you can, or I wouldn't say what's a good time. Say it looks like I might have like 6 or 7 p.m. available. What's your schedule looking like at that time? And I'll see if I can squeeze you in here. Boom. All right, 5-10 minutes, have a conversation. Then that leads you to debt, money, insurance, right? In a not that way, but again, how we just discussed. Okay. So that's helpful. The second thing was social media. Okay. Edward, I'm gonna give you a shout out on this. And again, I don't know, Edward, if you challenge your business partners like you challenge me, but back in January, I said this on stage if you guys were at Engage. But since that point, it's brought into 100 licensed agents in the pipeline since Edward challenged me to post 1 time a day on social media since January. Okay. And since that point, it's made me money. People have paid me for my time from other IMOs. I brought those people from that IMO over to ours. I'm about to bring on an 80K producer from Equus that I'm currently working on right now. But that came from just posting on social media. So I'm using for building. Okay. You guys can use it for for creating leads. So I have an agent right now that made $10,000 this week just off of social media and how she's posting. Okay, her Instagram is covered by Christina. You guys can look it up. You can see how she's doing it and just copy how she's doing it. But she made 10K this week alone and got 12 leads this week just from how she's posting. Okay, so you guys can see how she did it. Look at what, copy it, whatever. Covered by Christina Elena is her name. Okay, so you can look her up. I follow her. You can look at it on my Instagram. Okay, so that was from social media. Okay, I had a couple agents that benefited from that, and then the last one, I had people that had standing lead orders. So I have a part-time school teacher that does digital lighthouse leads. Okay, and he splits it between digital lighthouse leads and CIA leads in Alaska and Hawaii. Okay. And he did 9,500 within 4 days. Part-time school teacher, so he's kind of scheduled his calendar to where, okay, he's getting text back in funnel from Digital Lighthouse, so he doesn't have to dial as much, right? And then he's got CIA leads that he can dial at night when he's not spending time with his kids and they're all in bed. Okay. So he's able to exercise Alaska and Hawaii. He's got those two licenses and he's just fixing his schedule outside of school. And then now he just told me today he's going to be switching over full time. Okay. So those three things: warm market, social media, and a standing lead order. And those are the consistent. You have to find the leads that work for you. Okay. Everyone's not gonna like you got to find leads that work in your schedule. For instance, I'm just going to throw some things out there. Level up leads don't work in my calendar. Okay. Cody asking leads don't work in my calendar. Will they work for you in your calendar? Absolutely. Will level up work for you? Absolutely. But you have to find leads that work in your calendar and what you're trying to accomplish as an insurance lead. Because, like Edward said, a lead is a conversation, right? Find the leads that work for you that help you get the most conversation.
And let me on that point on the leads. Have you tried level up leads?
Me?
Have you tried Kaboom leads?
Yes, I've tried all of them. Yeah.
Have you tried, like, we could go down the list. Now, and here's the thing. Did you make some sales on each of the lead types that you've tried?
Yes.
All right. But to your point, you want to control your schedule. So you found the leads that work for your schedule. And so that took investment in those leads. And you actually had to go out and work the leads to find out, like, does this work for my schedule and the flow that I'm trying to build for myself? I just want to, like, that's where I don't see people, like, we get stuck on, like, which lead type works for me. I don't know.
Try
I don't
that.
know until you get out and try different lead types, right? And push hard. Like, you got to push. You didn't get leads and be like, well, I'm gonna halfway work these. You know, it's like you got leads and like, I'm getting something out of this. Right? We could definitely get the investment back, number one, and some, and then figure out how, does this work for the flow that I'm trying to create and build for myself.
Yeah, so that's key. So if you guys are out there wondering, again, it ultimately boils down. If you guys were in my breakout, I'm going to share on the national call this week. So please show up to the national call. But it boils down to these three things: activity, investment, strong why. Right? If you're putting in the activity and not sidetracked and have working hours that you're working from 8 a.m. to wherever time you put in or whatever your hours are, do not be doing anything else. You're working. You're dialing every single second that person gets off the phone. You don't take a second to look at Instagram right after you hang up the phone. You don't take a second to call your family when they called you during the day. You can text them back and say, hey, I'm working and I've established office hours. Unless it's an emergency, call me 3 times. Okay. Like I don't, I love my daughter. Her name's Ellie, but I try to hinder myself from seeing her throughout the day because, whenever you see Ellie, she's going to want to take you, run around, climb on your back, play basketball, whatever it is. Right. So you got to establish working hours. So it's establishing your activity, strong investment. Okay. Okay. You might say you don't have money. I love that one. Okay. I have 3 agents right now that are going out Ubering and Door Dashing to help them make more money to provide for leads because they know this business works. They're 23 years old. Okay. So look, you guys can go out and do that. And then lastly, it's a strong why. If you were in my breakout or you heard me on stage, what is your why? Why are you here? What are you doing? Right? You're here because you want to make a little bit of money. Okay, then you're going to make a little bit of money. If you're here because you want to change your life, okay, what's your why though? Right? Because ultimately, if your why isn't on your computer or the reason why you're doing this every single day, you will fail and you will quit. Right? My why, as you guys have heard from me, it's on my Instagram, is I have my daughter. I want to provide a better life for her as fast as possible. Right? And then second of all, I want to be the best because I feel like that's what I'm a Christian. My Lord and Savior Jesus Christ commanded me to do is to be the best. Okay. So those are my two whys, right? I'm going to do what's right, and then I'm going to take care of my family. What is yours?